gonna put the ambience a little bit hotter. Guess what? 95% of the building are not grade A building in the best location and so on. So, and this is for me the next playground for the next 10 years. Of course, you can always invest in grade A building and so on, but what you gonna do with the 95 remaining percent? You know, that's the play. So maybe what we have to assume it over the next 10 years. The business plan of an investor won't be to buy some kind of building, assuming 80 euros TIs when the tenant leave, 6 months vacancy, and then selling the building roughly at the same price at the end of the BP, or maybe assuming 2% growth rate over 10 years. The new business plan will be, there is 90% chance that I have to make some refurbishment, to put a green layer on the building, assuming 1 or 2 years of vacancy, each time a tenant empty the premises and so on. So there will be I think, a lot of room for to make opportunistic investment, a lot of opportunity, not maybe opportunistic profile with a 20% IRR. Nevertheless, I think that 90% again of the opportunity in France will be this kind of business plan. Buying a non-grade A building, assuming 200 euros TIs per square meters, 1 or 2 years of vacancy when the tenant leave the premises, and then selling the building after 7 or 10 years because your financing will end in 7 or 10 years because an insurance company will have provided you the financing. This is really a new play, a new game, and we have to assume it because we cannot go against the train again, and this is sure.
I think it depends as this existing stock, which is all quite old, as it's coming through and as it's obsolete, it's then looking at the right locations where that is and what you can do with it. I think if you're just going to simply look at, say, the Grande Paris project, you could target the zones where you see the infrastructure coming through. Obviously, it's coming through phased over a period of quite a long time. So for the more opportunistic or the value-add guys who want to get their returns quicker, you need to look somewhere like Clichy or Saint-Ouen, where you currently have quite high vacancy rates. You've got quite a lot of the stock is actually older properties, properties that are coming towards the stage where they're unsuitable for tenant demand or they're obsolete. So you know that the transport links are going to come in there by 2017. That's not too far away. There's, I think, vacancy of around 15% in Saint-Ouen, for example, but the transport links are going to massively improve that location, linking straight with the Paris CBD. Also, eventually, it'll be linking it with Orly, and then also up to Roissy Charles de Gaulle. But it doesn't have to be offices. It could be alternative use. It could be student housing. It could be residential. It could be maybe more budget hotels and so on. But from a pure office perspective, we're talking about rationalising the costs on the offices. I think buildings pre-2003, as far as I understand it, in 3 different areas, you can really improve the rationality, the costs on the building by around 30%. So you can actually look at the building, the occupancy rate, according to the total area of the property. On a, say, a 70s or 80s building, that's currently running at around 60 to 70%. You could improve that to 80 to 90%. Service charges are around, on those sort of buildings, around 70 to 80 euros a square metre. That could be improved to around 45 to 55 euros a square metre. And then also on workstation, generally on these sort of buildings, you're looking at around 1 person per 16 square metres. But on say new build or refurbished, restructured properties, you could be actually reducing that to around 11 to 13 square meters per workstation. So the potential cost reductions for occupiers then are very interesting.